Okay, so we're going to start getting our stuff ready for 3D painting. We just want to select our shirt, and we're going to go File, Export, Wavefront Object, and I'm just going to put a 1 next to that and save it onto my desktop and hit Export. So we have that. Oh, you want to make sure that it's the same as the Marvelous Designer thing, where, let me go back, where you have the selection only selected, and then hit Export with that. Alright, so now we have our shirt exported. I'm going to go to my desktop. Okay, hang on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Somebody had replied to a comment and had to answer that. Alright, so what we're going to do is open up our 3D garment in Marvelous Designer. No, that's the first video. What we're going to do is open up our 3D garment in Photoshop. Now, I noticed there's one thing about Photoshop. I don't know if it's the old or newer ones have this issue or not. But in Photoshop CS5 Extended that I use, it often gives me this error like you're using the wrong type of document, or it won't open up properly. I found that opening it like by double clicking on it will open it up, and it works better than trying to open up Photoshop and then try to import the garment in that way. It usually gives me a bunch of crap when I do it that way. So I'm going to click on it and load it in here. And yes, this is an Archer background. I just started watching Archer, and it is hilarious. If you haven't watched Archer, you need to totally watch Archer. It's such a good show. Danger Zone. Alright, so we're going to wait for this to load up, and then hopefully everything comes in right. Everything should be fine. So I'll be right back. It seems that there was the running of the dogs happening. Sorry, dog's still running. Alright, so if all is well, your shirt will come in and it should look a little something like this. So what I want to do is teach you about the controls for this. What you are rotate. You want to press this button right here, the little circle, the ball with the rotating, and this will allow you to move your garment about. So you can move your stuff and swirl it about. Everything's fine with that. These are the 3D tools that you'll see. So this is the 3D rotate. This is the 3D roll. Lets you move it from side to side. You also have the 3D pan tool, which is kind of, I guess, cool. To zoom in, though, you want to use the camera tool, and you want to use this 3D zoom camera tool like this to actually get in close to it. You may be tempted to use the magnifying tool, but that just makes the scene, like, everything bigger. It doesn't actually zoom you in. You need the camera tool to zoom in and zoom out. Up here is the view tools, where it allows you to set the view, but for some reason it always comes in weird. It never comes in right, except for those weird times when it does, but more often than not it doesn't. So you can just grab your rotating tool and rotate it into the proper spec, like a view, and then you can push this little save icon, and then you can push OK. That way when we go from like top for here, don't tell me it now all of a sudden it works. So weird. This program is so weird. Whatever. That's how you can change your views while you're painting. Let's go over into layers so you can know how stuff works. So when you're painting on your tool, you actually need to set your layers by clicking on this diffuse thing right here. So when I double click, and you see there's absolutely nothing in here. No textures, no nothing. So what I wanted to do first is I want to go to, I think it's image, and I want to change my canvas size, and I want it in a canvas. Close canvas size. It's been a while. Image size, and I want to change it to 248 by 248. I really am tempted to see what's going on with that dog, but he's so afraid of me. Like, he's terrified of ladies. Whenever he sees a woman, he runs and cries. I think my mom might be walking by. That's probably why he's crying like that. So don't worry, I'm not beating a dog in the background while we're doing this video. So you can change the size to 228 by 2048 by 2048, and it gives you this bigger map here. So we're going to put it here. Then you're going to take one of your already made shade maps, whichever one we baked, and just drop it into the workspace, and it should just pop in like that. And you're going to hit OK. Oh, you're going to do that and then hit okay, the check, not the big no. Then we're going to create a new layer by pressing this button right here. And I think this is the time when you want to decide whether or not what color you want your shirt. It's a lot easier to paint it in this layer than trying to shade it all in 3D. So grab your paint bucket and pick what color you want. I like black. That totally undoes all the shading that I did. And I like to put it on multiplier, so meh, why not? And then we're going to create a new layer, and this is going to be where we draw on it and put our decals and all the rest of that jazz. So this is how I set it up. And then I'm going to press that little X box right here, and then say yes. And then we look at it in 3D, you see we have our stuff like this. Now if yours look all jaggedy and not, shady, right, it's probably because one, you're using the wrong texture, like I'm doing. So I'm going to go and use the proper texture for this shirt. Was it the right texture? Don't know. A crooked boob one, so please file. Yeah, I guess that was right. Alright, so the thing about this is totally weird. Did I export the right thing? Oh! Duh, that's why. Hang on one second. I made a very large mistake. When I exported the shirt from Blender, I used the Marvelous Designer settings where we turned off the UV mapping stuff data. I forgot to turn that back on. So what I want to do is come back into Blender real quick and hit OBJ. And I want to include UVs. We want to do that. That's important. So let's try that again. Use it like 4 or whatever. And load that back up. So when we do it this time, it should work. Alright, now let's see the custom. I can't believe that's how you fixed it. Crazy. Alright, so let's try this one more time. See the textures here this time, and the image size 2040 to 2048. Great. So let's create a new layer. Let's get that black on here. Paint bucket, paint, multiply. Nice. New layer, so there are decals and stuff. Close the Xbox, hit yes. Now when we go to look at it, yeah, that's much better. Now if you find that your stuff is like jaggedy like this, or it's not as smooth as it could be, you could be out of like, what's that word, graphic memory or so. Like you see how it looks decimated, but when I go to rotate it, it comes back and it's all full 3D and beautiful. Well, it's only like that because I have Second Life open, I think my internet's open, and I got Blender open. There's too many things pulling 3D memory, so if I was to close it, I think it might get better, but I think you have to reload the save, like reload all this again, which I don't feel like doing. So I'm just going to close Second Life and stuff real quick and come back so it's not decimated, so you guys can see it a better quality. So sorry. Just give me one more second. Okay, see? Now it's good because now it has all that dedicated memory and it's not sharing it with anything, and it's nice and smooth and it's good to paint on. Dang, everything's fine. So it was fine up until a second ago. Shut up, computer. Paint. Darn you, paint. What just happened? Jeez, I have no idea what happened. I think this tutorial hates me. Totally hates me. Okay, let's try it one more time. I think every time I try to work with the Maitreya body, it's always prone to accidents, especially stuff like this. So I'm going to try it one more time, and if it doesn't work, I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. So I'll be right back. I bet this doesn't happen in the real Photoshop, like ones people pay for. They do this to pirates. How dare you steal this ancient software? Alright, so we got this with that, new layer, and then black, then bucket, then a multiply, then this, then close that. Over here, yes. Alright, damn. Alright, so here we go. It is beautiful as can be. And let's start painting. So grab your brush and you can draw on it. Put your decals or some stuff like that. See, it's nice and smooth. So you draw on it, you move it and stuff. Should be fine. So we go and click on it again. You can see the markings are on the shirt. Translates beautifully. Another thing that we can talk about, and just delete this layer, create a new layer, is if you were not satisfied with the way the shading is on the shirt at all, you want it to be better, you can actually use your eyedrop tool, go in there, and you can draw on the kind of shading that you want for your shirt. Now, I actually have a graphics tablet, and I just stole a bunch of nibs from my brother. Because, art school student, they are prone to have nibs. So, steal this and you can just shade it in. Oh, that feels so much better. Let me turn off my pen sensitivity. And we can go over here on the side of the boobs and give it that. Then do the same thing over here. There are, if you don't know how shading goes, you can cheat by following the shading that is in here already. So, whoops, stamp, beat a stamp. Put some under here. There, stuff. And into here. But you don't want to put it too dark under the armpit. You don't want it to look like, your avatar is horribly sweating. But that would be really funny, sure, wouldn't it? Now I want to take you back to the old school days of Second Life textures. So I'm going to toss this in there since you guys had to suffer through me messing up so often. And that is the texture wrinkles. I remember this was like a super expensive purchase that I made on Second Life back in the day. So let me see, which one is this? And we can add wrinkles here. And wrinkles right there. It doesn't look like much, but it's going to look really good in a second. So don't forget to neglect the back. Throw on some back wrinkles. So it's like that. Make it big. Yeah, there you go. Now it may not look like anything now, but we go back into our texture and we change it to modify. And I should have put the wrinkles in the other one on separate layers, especially because I have to blur the shading for the boobs. I gotta blur that. And I don't get what's my thing about making boobs crooked. If I make... Ow. Damn, that hurt. If I make these boobs crooked one more time. Alright, let's go back in here. Put the back shading on. So it's that. And then we have our boob wrinkles, which I guess this one. Yeah, right there. So the shirt looks a lot better. You can put wrinkles all over wherever you want. think there were also side wrinkles. Our shirts back in Second Life were like early days of Second Life texture painting and stuff. Everybody had super wrinkly clothes, and the more wrinkles you had on your shirt, the more realistic it was, the more money you spent on it. You're like, this shirt is nothing but wrinkles, and you're, oh, 300L. Like, you pay for premium wrinkles. It's good to see how how much time has changed since then. Okay, so we have our wrinkles in, and now we have the fun part where you want to put on graphics onto your shirt. So we're going to go double click on this layer again, and we're going to create a new one. And let's go back here to our shirt, and I'm going to look on my desktop because I'm pretty sure I saved, here we go, Team Skull. Throw that in there. That's why I wanted a black shirt. So you throw your decal in here, and preferably one with a transparent background. That makes things a lot easier. And you just put it where you want it to be on the shirt. I want mine right here. Like that. Okay. Now you want to make sure before we apply our decal that it's on its own layer. That way you don't mess up your shading and your wrinkles. So let's go back here. And we're just going to press what's this button right here? The paintbrush. Oh, well, where did my mouse go? That's on my link. Alright, so I'm going to get all situated here. Alright, so we have our paintbrush, and we're going to go up to our decal layer right here. You're going to see there's a little no symbol, and it's like, gives you this error. So you say, okay. Then you right click on your decal, and you say merge down. And it's going to lay on top of your t-shirt. So now you see folded over and all that stuff, just like a regular t-shirt would be. So you can either leave it like that, or you can hit multiply and let it fuse in there. That's obviously bad. Play with the blending options until it gets to what you like. Maybe combine. I like the soft light, but I need a solid one underneath it, so maybe 2 soft lights. Let's see. Maybe one more soft light. There we go. There we go. So now you have a Team Skull shirt that does this. So now textures are done. You know how to paint on your shirt. You can do the same thing. If you want text, the process is still the same thing. You just grab your text box and hey, text work for me. Alright, so you grab your text box and you write whatever. You put your color that you want it to be in. What font is this? Permanent marker. So you scroll it up and make it as big as you want. You drag it over your shirt, like whatever. And then you take your paintbrush and give you the no error again. Oh, hit OK. And then just like before, we just merge it down. And now we have whatever on the shirt. Now, you may want to put your text on a different layer like that, like I showed you with the decals. But I didn't in this case, and now it's just faded in. So, yeah, you have your Team Skull stuff, and it's all done, and now it's time to save. So let's double click on our diffuse again. Hit File, hit Save As. We're going to go to my desktop, and we're going to change it to JPEG. And wait, before we actually hit it, we're going to change the image size down to 512. Oops, it's a little bit bigger than 512. 512. Now, I know you probably wait, no, 1024 by 1024. Apparently, these big 1024 by 1024 textures actually make stuff laggy. I didn't know about that until I went to that creators meeting and I heard all the experienced creators going off about how people are putting 1024 textures on everything and complaining about the lag. So apparently making it 512 gives it the same. Let's see, take a big texture, get all that sharpness and detail in there, and then you put it down to 512, and it still works exactly the same. It's just smaller and it renders better. Okay, so that's my little education quick today. So I'm going to pause this real quick, load up Blender. I was still talking. I'm going to pause this real quick, load up Blender. We're going to export our shirt and then apply the texture to it. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video where we apply and upload. So last part. Yay!